grandfather and the people that surrounded him and their ideas and their visions match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality.
Yeah, I think that is important. I think matching that vision, matching that way, and when you have others that have the same vision, have the same end goal, then you have to create. You have to get to that end goal together, and I think that's what is happening. Do I think that we're all on the same? Are we all at the same stages of that vision right now? No, but the end goal is still in our sight. It's still both. The whole team's end goal, and I think that's important. With my grandfather's case, it was. I think he done it unconsciously. Does that make sense? He didn't know what he was. He knew what to do, but he didn't know how he was doing it.
Yep.
And it fell into pieces. The pieces fell into place for him as well. Not knowing what he was doing it.
Yep. Do just once what others say you can't do, and you will never pay attention to their limitations again. Do just once what others say you cannot do, and you will never pay attention to their limitations again. Why did they say their limitations?
Different level of awareness.
Mm-hmm. To change your paradigm, you must change something completely opposite of what you are currently doing. Any other takeaways this week for you guys?
I learned that nobody can set the bar for me of how high, how low can I stay. I learned that if my mind can decide where to go, I can achieve it.
Yep. Ultimately, nobody determines one's fate, only themselves. We're going to go into the video. You guys would take notes and we'll come back to the lesson.
I want to be able to help them. I want to mix in an environment that's positive because I know that everything that's going on is a suggestion. And I do know that I'm not thinking anywhere near as often as I choose to believe I am. So when I'm not thinking, my subconscious mind is wide open. And all the suggestions are coming in, they're going right into the subconscious mind, and they control the vibration I'm in. You see, if we take a look at how we arrived on the scene, we start to see how and why we're programmed that way. You're raised or brought into a home at birth where your subconscious mind is wide open, and whatever is going on around you goes right into your subconscious mind. over and over and over again. In fact, that is where your self-image was formed, when you were just a little tiny gaffer. You may be an adult now and feel fairly inferior to a certain group of people. Why would you feel inferior? You're the highest form of creation on the planet, because that was programmed in. You say, well, people didn't say you're inferior. No, but it's the way they treated you. It's the way they treated themselves. Do you know most of us were raised by people who didn't have any clearly defined goals? As a kid, I grew up thinking a goal was for hockey or soccer. It would never be a point in life that I could say, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to be. So most of us are surrounded by people that, in absence of clearly defined goals, we become strangely loyal to performing daily trivia until ultimately we become enslaved by it. Well, if we're surrounded by people like that, what are we getting? How are we growing up? Why do 97% of the population go the wrong direction? Just test this. Ask people, what do you really want? They'll say, what do I want? Well, let me see. They don't know what they want. There isn't any clearly defined target. They say, well, what if you could have anything you want, what do you want? Wow, I don't know. Then
Takeaways?
When he said people don't know what they want, Abraham, I think their wants are not a burning desire. Because if they were, they wouldn't set the limitations, or would they?
No. Yes and no. If the belief is strong, how many times have you seen people that they say they want something, but that fear, doubt, worry kicks in, and then they just go back to automatic?
On a daily basis.
Yeah. That cybernetic mechanism, it depends on the individual, and it depends how strong their beliefs are. I see this all the time, and I see that when they get emotionally involved for a little bit, and then they start, and then they go back to their automatic, and they're just teeter-tottering back and forth, but they're not able to break the cycle. And majority of the time, they think that they're thinking, but they're really not. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing what they're doing, right? So yes, there is another part where if the goal is too far out of their comfort zone, they won't even try. They don't even get the ideas to do that something different. And there is another point where if it's really not their true desire, and they're conformed to where they're at, they have conformity, then they just don't want to break the program. They don't believe. Ultimately, it goes back to belief. They don't believe they can do it, but they're okay where they're at. They don't need to change. Let me ask y'all something. Why is it that whenever you see foreign people come into the U.S., a lot of times the people that you see that are the business owners are the people that come in that are foreign?
Because that's why they're coming into the United States. It's automatically understood it's the land of opportunity. So they're coming here to chase their dreams.
There you go. They're coming here on purpose. Listen to what I'm saying. They're coming here on purpose to a definite end.
They're following their vision.
Yep. Before they come, they've been already imagining and visioning, and they're always imagining and visioning this future. And the minute they land, it's game on. Guess what they're doing?
They're finding the people, places, everything, the resources they need to start the business that they've been dreaming of.
Yep. Everything on purpose to a definite end. And what do they have? A great imagination. And what else? What are the two things that people lack? Poverty of the imagination and weakness of attention. Focus. Focus and will is what keeps you on target. Target with what? Well, they've got a vision. So unconsciously, they're breaking the programs, they're breaking their paradigms, and they're doing the breakthroughs, and they accomplish their goals. A lot of times they just stop after that. There's some that keep going. But what I do see a lot of is that these people that do come in from different countries are the ones that set the bar a little bit different. Would y'all agree?
Yes.
Any other thoughts on that?
They also are not sitting there thinking in limitation. And what I mean by that, it's not seeing themselves for, okay, I'm in a foreign country. I don't speak the language. I don't, their way of thinking is different than an American way. They're not seeing themselves from a limited belief. They're seeing themselves as they want the vision. They're stepping into the vision and they're creating from there.
What's going on with all the rest of the people that are already in the U.S. that stay where they're at?
Are you asking like when it comes to foreigners coming into the country?
Yeah. What's the difference between a foreigner coming to the country and then the people that are already here?
For me, what I've heard, it's negative, negative feedback. They're meeting up with their own paradigm, and it's negative comments that are being said. If it's somebody in my industry, when it comes to the nail salon industry, any kind of massage, that kind of stuff, it's negative comments because I think it's challenging their paradigms, and they're not liking it because they see success for somebody else that came in that's newly here in the country and it came easy, and they're thinking from a paradigm that thinks, wait, there's got to be doing something. They come over here and they, it's feeling threatened, in other words.
Why is it the people that are here normally stay stuck? They have the opportunity. They were born here. Why don't they do anything with it? Or do much with it? This is mind, right? Mind is movement. It's thinking. We all think. What's the defining thing that is changing the outcome in the individuals? And why is it that people that come in from another country, on an average, rule of thumb, they're accomplishing more things than the people that are already here?
In my opinion, is because they can see all the possibilities. I'm in this situation, and what I see is, if I was in my country, I could have these opportunities, but I couldn't see that I have. Now that I'm here in the United States, I came here to open my business, and I'm very well with this. And now I know that because of my paradigms, I could do this in my country. But in my mind, in that time, I have to come to US to do that.
Yep. Good. Very good. What do you think's holding everyone else back that's here?
They can't see the possibilities because they are stuck in their minds. They saw their parents doing the same thing, and they think that they have to do the same thing.
Yep.
They conform to the circumstance.
There you go. Conformity. Conformity it is not a prosperous way to live. Sometimes being too comfortable sets up what?
False expectations.
They never really do much. Accident?
Well, it's even here in the country, I think Americans see it as we're privileged, and it's also feeding into an economy that thinks we deserve more. instead of doing it for themselves, they think it needs to be handed to them. And sometimes I think it's what we see in our culture, that it's that belief, we're American, we are the privileged, it's an entitlement kind of a deal. And really to see themselves as doing it for themselves, they think it should just sometimes be handed to them. I should deserve this, I deserve it. And instead of seeing it for, I'm going to go work for it, it's more of an entitlement.
They really don't have to stretch.
It goes back to understanding lack and limitation and poverty of imagination.
Yep.
I believe we become lazy.
Yep.
I think that we set goals. We say this is what we want. We want these C-type goals, right? And then we have faith. We have faith that I can get to this level in life. And all of that is really, really good. And and you have to start with the vision, and then you have to have the faith. But you also have to put the work in.
Mm-hmm.
You have to put the actions in to do this. It's more than just saying, yes, I want that. Yes, I believe I can have that. Yes, I have faith that I can do that. You have to put the work in. It's action. And we become lazy, in my opinion.
Yeah. Anyone else? Very good. What does everyone else think? Why is it that majority of immigrants are the ones that accomplish more than what the average individual accomplishes that's already here in the U.S.?
I would say not only the first generation or the people that come over, but the first generation, because they have a tendency to plant in their kids' minds gratitude, appreciation, hard work, and all that's implanted in the first generation's mind significantly more than people that have been here for a long time.
Very good. Have you if you're in bigger cities too, you can see this, but how often do you see the third and fourth generation, sixth generation? What's happened after four? Anyone?
They go back to living in their comfort zone.